welcome to episode 23 of the Tough Cover podcast, right here on the Painted Lines. Thank you for joining us. This is your host, Mark Henry Jr., with you guys live for the 23rd edition of the Tough Cover podcast, live on the Painted Lines on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Please go follow at the Painted Lines on Twitter and subscribe to the Painted Lines on YouTube and Twitch or wherever you're watching this. Please go follow me at Mark Henry Jr. _ and please follow the podcast at Tough Cover Pod on Twitter. On today's show, we will talk about today and tomorrow's Elite Eight games. We got 4 games left in the Elite Eight. Then you got 2 Final Four games, and then you got a championship game. You only got 7 more college basketball games to finish off the 2020-2021 season. So we are going to be breaking down the Elite Eight. I also have a couple NBA picks for the night. We are taking a day off tomorrow, so that's why I'll be going over Tuesday's Elite Eight picks on today's show. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the Tough Cover Click. You can always take these picks I'm giving you and these prognostications and take them over to BetRivers. And for more on that, here is a word from our sponsor.
Hey, what's up, guys? March Madness is here. The NBA and NHL are both in full swing. Baseball opening day is coming up, while we here at the Painted Lines are devoted to bringing you top-notch content from all the major sports. We are excited to also now give you the opportunity to cash in on all that content and knowledge. If you follow the link below, you will have the opportunity to sign up with BetRivers, an online sportsbook, and get an instant new user deposit match of up to $250. That's free money that you can use and try to turn into more free money. Let's go. Don't sit there and waste all that money. Turn every basket into an otherwise meaningless Cavs-Timberwolves matchup in on a random Wednesday in March. That makes it all the more exciting. For betting tips and advice, be sure to check out written content from our top prognosticator, Money Max, on our website at thepaintedlines.com, or check out the Tough Cover podcast right here on the Painted Lines YouTube channel. You've seen the commercials all over TV and radio, but now is the time. Sign up today with BetRivers using the link below and start cashing in on your love for sports. Using the link below will automatically inform BetRivers that TPL sent you, and you'll get that new user deposit match of up to $250. Don't miss out on this opportunity for some free money, baby.
Don't waste another second. Go follow that link. It's in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, and it'll let them know that the Painted Line sent you. It's a great way to get started for any new gamblers, and it's a great way for any seasoned gamblers like me and like many of you out there listening to get involved with BetRivers, and it'll, like I said, it'll let them know that the Painted Line sent you. So like I said, on today's show, we will be talking about Monday's games primarily, but I do have one pick for tomorrow night's slate already, so we're going to get started. But first, we'll do a quick fit check because I didn't do it yesterday. We're rocking with Arkansas. Huge game for me tonight. Obviously, they're my champion that I gave out on this very show a couple weeks ago. And then behind me, I've got the dueling Shaquille O'Neal jerseys. I had them up yesterday. Didn't mention them. Thought I should mention them today. Got some defunct baseball teams behind me with the Expos and the Florida Marlins. And let's take a sip for the working man before we start giving out some picks. All right, let's go. Starting off at 7:15 in the first Elite Eight game of the 2021 season, I've got my bet of the night, my play of the day, my lock of the night. Let's get it started with Oregon State team total over 60.5. You may have heard it today on the Brandon Walker Twitter Spaces for Pre-Pick Central. I love Oregon State team total over 60.5. 4 units I'm putting on this thing. Oregon State had scored 65 plus in 9 straight games. They've scored 61 plus in 12 of the last 14 games, and in 16 of the last 20 games, and in 25 of their total 31 games this year, they've scored 61 plus points. I know that Houston has a great defense. Believe me, they shut down Rutgers. They shut down the team they played last time. I blank it in my head, but I know that they have a great defense. But Loyola, Oklahoma State, and Tennessee all had elite elite defenses in the top 5 or the top 10 in Ken Palm, and the Beavers scored 65, 80, and 70 respectively against those three teams. Houston gave up 60 points to Rutgers, who is much worse offensively than this Oregon State bunch, who is shooting the lights out from three. 60.5 is just way too low. All you need is 61 points. Some Cougar Beaver action on a Monday night. What's better than this? Let's check out the comment right here. We've got Dylan Wilkerson. Let's go, Arkansas. Woo, Pig Suey. Let's go, Hogs. It's going to be a big game tonight. Need a big-time upset. We will get there. If anyone's got some comments, some picks, some thoughts, some opinions, some questions, anything you want, please leave it right there in the comments, and I'll throw it right up on the screen like I just did with Dylan's comments, and I'll give you my thought. So, yeah, like I said, Oregon State, team total, over 60.5, 4 units. And then moving on to another team total in the very same game, I've got the Houston Cougars team total under 68.5 for 1 unit. You could just take Oregon State +8 or +7.5, whatever it is now. I'm going with both team totals. Maybe I'll go 1-1 instead of losing it outright, or I'll go 2-0. Houston has scored 62 and 63 in their last 2 wins in the tournament. Oregon State plays slower than those two teams and are just as good defensively. Oregon State held Loyola and Tennessee in the 50s, and when Oklahoma State exceeded this total, they only scored 70, and they have the number 1 pick in the NBA draft coming up on their roster. Houston's offense is nowhere near as good as Oklahoma State. By Slamma Jamma, this offense is not. 68.5 is just too high. Houston will go under that total, but I'm way more confident in the Oregon State team total. So let's move on to the next play before we do this. Which favorites would you throw in to an Elite Eight parlay? I don't think that this is a favorites. I don't think this is a favorites Elite Eight. They might win the games. I certainly wouldn't be betting on. I guess I get what you're saying, a money line parlay maybe. But listen up to what the rest of the picks are. I'm going team total over there in the Oregon State game and team total under in the Houston game. So I would not like Houston, and obviously I'm not taking Baylor. So I'm on both underdogs today, somewhat. I didn't take Oregon State plus the points, but I did give out the team total over as well as the Houston team total under. But moving on to the association, the league that pays for play, we've got the New Orleans Pelicans at the Boston Celtics. I've got New Orleans plus 4.5 at Boston for 1.5 units, and I also have the New Orleans Pelicans plus 150 on the money line at Boston for 1 unit. I got these lines before the Jaylen Brown news being out and Evan Fournier being questionable. These teams played a month ago or so, and Ingram and Zion dominated a healthy Boston Celtic team. Boston has nothing inside to give Zion any problems. Boston, they just traded Tice, who I was their best inside defender. I don't even know if Mo Wagner and Luke Cornett are playing in this game. I'd have to look at that. I'm sure they are. But even if so, Zion's just going to dominate the paint in this game, in my opinion. He's on an absolute wrecking crew, especially over the last few games. And now the Celtics, with Jaylen Brown being out, have even less on the wing to give Ingram problems. Ingram had a great game last time against them. They don't have a guard tall enough to take Lonzo out of the game offensively. So I just love the Pelicans to win this game. I think they're a bad matchup athletically for Boston at pretty much each position. We're showing UConn -5, women's, Houston -8, Michigan to cut down the Nets on April 5th plus 550. I don't follow women's basketball. I do know that there was a cool boost for them to win the title. I almost took it, but I didn't want to follow the tournament. Houston -8. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. I like my team total picks more. And then Michigan to cut the Nets on April 5th. It certainly looks better with them having to play UCLA. So I mean, I still think that Gonzaga, Baylor, and Arkansas are all better teams, but they absolutely have a chance now that they're going to the Final Four. Moving on to the next game at 10 o'clock, also in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks plus 2.5 at the LA Clippers for 1 unit. I don't have much to say here. I just think Milwaukee is the better team and should be favored. And I think that they have the wings to defend the Clippers with Giannis and DiVincenzo and Middleton. I just feel like they have a lot of wings that they can throw at Kawhi and Paul George. And the reason I really like Milwaukee in this game due to injury news is because the Clippers will not have Rajon Rondo, Patrick Beverley, or Serge Ibaka in this game. And Milwaukee is getting back Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday, who did not play on Saturday in their last game, in which they still competed and almost won. Fun fact, I will not be taking this game tonight. I just got an alert to my phone. The Knicks are 7-1 against the spread in their last 8. The Heat are 0-6 straight up and against spread in their last 6. The Knicks are plus 4.5 tonight, hosting the Heat. That is interesting. I'm going to stay away because it feels a little bit too obvious, but I just thought I'd say that out because it's funny timing for me to get that notification. And Jeff Teague is also signing with Milwaukee. I'm sure he won't play tonight, but Milwaukee plus 2.5 at the LA Clippers for 1 unit because Milwaukee's getting all their guys back. The Clippers are losing a couple guys. I just think Milwaukee's the better team, even if both these teams were fully healthy. So I am perfectly fine taking the Bucks plus 2.5. If you want to take money line, feel free. I don't think there's a large chance that they lose by 1 or 2 points, and we split the decision there. But let's get to the last bet of the night. It's not my bet. It's not my best bet. It's not my play of the day. It's not my lock of the night, but it's my most important bet. Before the year, I said it on one of the first editions of this show before the Selection Sunday. I had Arkansas plus 1250 to make the Final Four way before the brackets ever got released. I put a half unit on that. I said for weeks and months that Arkansas could win this national championship. To do that, you have to make the Final Four, and to do that, you've got to win in the Elite Eight. Baylor doesn't have the bigs to kill Arkansas on the inside. Arkansas has skyrocketed up to 8th in adjusted defensive efficiency per KenPom, which is exactly what you need to do. I think that they better be watching some tape when Oklahoma State took down Baylor, defending the 3 and just running. And that's what Arkansas is going to need to do late night tonight at 10 o'clock. Arkansas is 14-2 straight up and 12-4 against the spread in its last 16 games. Arkansas just played their worst game of the year and advanced. Survive and advance. Woo! Pig Suey. The Arkansas Razorbacks, the Hogs. I need them money line to take down the Baylor Bears, plus 1250 to make the Final Four for a half unit. And then why not? I put a unit on plus 300 on the money line on Arkansas. So a lot of units riding on the Razorbacks tonight. I would just love for the Razorbacks to keep my bracket hopes in my big money pool alive for one more night, one more day, whatever that may be. It'll probably last until they play in the Final Four. So I would love to see Arkansas win. I've gotten way too emotionally attached to this random SEC college basketball team, but I love the way they play. Even when they lost last game, they played terrible, but they go through stretches of looking like the worst team in the tournament, and then they just flick a switch. They just flick a switch, and they're the best team that you've ever seen. It is a crazy dichotomy that this team has. I think it has to do with Musselman. I don't know if he just gets them hyped up so much for certain moments that when they're not at that ultimate hype level, their intensity draws way down and they start settling for shots. But when Moses Moody's cooking, when Tate's driving the ball to the inside, when Smith's getting rebounds, they're a tough team to beat. And I expect this to be a knock them down, drag them out, all 40 minutes matter type game between Arkansas and Baylor. I'm really looking forward to it. And then another game, I don't have a pick on this game for tomorrow, folks, but another game I expect to be excellent is Gonzaga versus USC. It's a 9.5-point spread in favor of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Two teams I've bet on all year in Gonzaga and USC. This is the Elite Eight matchup I've prayed for all since the Selection Sunday, since the bracket came out. I said it on the bracket show that this set up really nicely for a Gonzaga-USC showdown and Evan Mobley versus Jalen Suggs duel for the second pick of the NBA draft. I give the nod to Evan Mobley in terms of the second pick, but I give the nod to Jalen Suggs' team in Gonzaga to probably get the nod over USC. But I certainly would not be laying 9.5 points against the USC Trojans with how good they've looked over the last couple of games. I know how great Gonzaga is consistently, but Gonzaga does have some weird first halves. If they come out and they're not rock solid and sharp against this USC Trojan team, USC is going to give them a ton of problems, especially because of Evan and Isaiah Mobley. I think that USC is one of the best teams in terms of the chance that they have to give Gonzaga problems and make Gonzaga sweat it out a little bit. I really do think it's going to be a great game. And I'm going to sit back and enjoy it, make some popcorn, and just watch the game. I'm not taking a side on that one. I looked at the over and the under. I didn't even want to take a side on that one or either team total. I think it's just throw the ball up, watch and see what happens. I think these are two really good teams, two of the 5 or 6 best teams left for sure. So I'm excited to see these two teams face off. It's a big West Coast matchup. This really should be something we see more often, as Gonzaga should be a Pac-12 team. The Pac-12 or Gonzaga are sleeping on that. So this is going to be a fun matchup. Jalen Suggs versus Evan Mobley, USC versus Gonzaga, Andy Enfield versus Mark Few. Where's the advantage there? Probably with Mark Few, but it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch it. But I have a pick on the other game on the Tuesday Elite Eight slate, and that is UCLA team total over 64.5 versus Michigan for 3 units. That's going to be that could increase in unit size because it might be my only bet that I like tomorrow night. UCLA has scored 65 plus in the last 5 games, and in 6 of the last 7, they've scored 65 plus in 11 of 13 games, which would 11 of those would have exceeded this over 64.5. Obviously, before last game, Michigan had given up 65 plus in 5 straight games. So I just think that UCLA will be able to score, even if Michigan pulls away and covers the spread and beats UCLA. I think UCLA will be able to score the ball against Michigan's defense. They're not the Florida State offense. I think they have a better shooting team than Florida State did. But the reason I'm not taking their spread is because I don't know how they deal with Michigan's bigs on the inside defensively. I think that will push the total up, and I will go with UCLA team total over 64.5. And before we get out of here, before I read the rest of my card, I'm going to play the BetRivers video for you guys one more time. So in case anyone missed it, they don't miss an opportunity out on some free money, as Dives would say. So go check this video out from our sponsors, and I'll be right back after about a minute to recap my picks if you missed any of them.
Hey, what's up, guys? March Madness is here. The NBA and NHL are both in full swing. Baseball opening day is coming up, while we here at the Painted Lines are devoted to bringing you top-notch content from all the major sports. We are excited to also now give you the opportunity to cash in on all that content and knowledge. If you follow the link below, you will have the opportunity to sign up with BetRivers, an online sportsbook, and get an instant new user deposit match of up to $250. That's free money that you can use and try to turn into more free money. Let's go. Don't sit there and waste all that money. Turn every basket into an otherwise meaningless Cavs-Timberwolves matchup on a random Wednesday in March. That makes it all the more exciting. For betting tips and advice, be sure to check out written content from our top prognosticator, Money Max, on our website at thepaintedlines.com, or check out the Tough Cover podcast right here on the Painted Lines YouTube channel. You've seen the commercials all over TV and radio, but now is the time. Sign up today with BetRivers using the link below and start cashing in on your love for sports. Using the link below will automatically inform BetRivers that TPL sent you, and you'll get that new user deposit match of up to $250. Don't miss out on this opportunity for some free money, baby.
All right, so a quick roundup of my card today. We've got Oregon State team total over 60.5 as my best bet, my play of the day, my lock of the night for 4 units against the Houston Cougars. So I have Houston team total under 68.5 for 1 unit, also at 7:15 versus Oregon State. I have the New Orleans Pelicans plus 4.5 at the Boston Celtics for 1.5 units, and I also have the New Orleans Pelicans money line plus 150 for 1 unit at the Boston Celtics. I have an Arkansas Final Four future at plus 1250 for a half of a unit from before the tournament, and I also have a unit on Arkansas plus 300 money line. And then to wrap up the night, I have the Milwaukee Bucks plus 2.5 at the LA Clippers for 1 unit. And then tomorrow night, my only pick of tomorrow night's slate, I like nothing on the NBA board, and I don't like anything in the Gonzaga USC game. My only pick of the board tomorrow night will be UCLA team total over 64.5, provided that it stays at that number. Honestly, if it gets to 65, I'll take it anyway. So those are my plays of the day. If you want to lock one in, like I always say, it's my best bet, which, by the way, is 13-7. So it's pretty goddamn profitable. Take it, hammer it, throw it on BetRivers responsibly, and enjoy the winners.